Welcome to my channel. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan's intense rivalry has captivated the WWE Universe for months, as the two have been at loggerheads for quite some time. However, the prolonged saga between the Eradicator and the Women's World Champion has started to lose momentum, succumbing to repetitive storylines on the weekly shows. Initially, the love triangle between Morgan, Ripley, and Dominic Mysterio got a good reception from fans. However, as weeks passed, it became a predictable story of cat and mouse chase, with nothing much left to unravel. With weekly repeats of the same angles, Triple H appears to be having major problems with Mammy's recent WWE booking. Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan have been feuding since April this year. The Judgment Day's betrayal at SummerSlam did add a new layer to their rivalry, but it could not keep its momentum alive. The Ripley-Morgan feud gradually lost its spark when WWE kept repeating similar things every week on Raw. The storyline has become stagnant due to a lack of new things and predictable outcomes. It will not be an exaggeration to say that both superstars have been stuck in a vicious loop. Therefore, WWE needs to move on from this saga and unravel new layers of this storyline. Rhea Ripley has not been involved in a fresh storyline since WrestleMania 40. Ever since April, she has been hunting down Liv Morgan on Raw with an intent to capture the Women's World Championship. However, the Eradicator does not seem to be getting much out of the ongoing storyline. She needs to be competing against stars who can elevate her further in the ring. If Triple H decides to move on from this feud, Mommy could have blockbuster matches against stars like Io Sky and Lyra Valkyria on Raw. As of now, her storyline with Morgan and the Judgment Day has arguably become a roadblock in a fresh direction for the Nightmare. Therefore, the game has to come up with a new idea to end this feud between Morgan and Ripley and give a fresh start to both the stars on Raw. Currently, Rhea Ripley is one of the most popular stars in WWE. She made a name for herself after her stellar reign as the Women's World Champion. However, the Eradicator has been involved in only one feud with Liv Morgan this year, which has been going on for quite some time. The fact that Ripley is embroiled in an everlasting feud with the Miracle Kid could lead to fans losing interest in her. The WWE Universe could eventually stop investing in Mammy's ongoing storyline. Hence, in order to avoid such a creative misstep, the creative team should explore some new layers of Ripley's character. However, before this causes a major disruption among the fans, the game needs to introduce a new aspect in the story of the Eradicator. Rhea Ripley, WWE's dominant force and current Women's World Champion, has been a powerhouse in the women's division, turning heads with her athletic prowess, bold persona, and fierce in-ring performances. But despite Ripley's undeniable talent and star power, there's an underlying problem that WWE's head of creative, Triple H, needs to address, and quickly. The problem is not Ripley herself, but how she's being handled creatively within WWE programming, where her momentum, character depth, and storytelling have all stagnated, threatening to waste one of the company's brightest stars. If Triple H doesn't find a solution to this Rhea Ripley problem soon, WWE risks squandering a generational talent at the peak of her career. Rhea Ripley burst onto the scene in WWE with an aura unlike anyone else in the women's division. Standing 5'7", with a muscular physique, half-shaved hair, and a fierce goth punk look, Ripley exudes a unique blend of power and charisma. Her in-ring skills matched her persona, delivering intense, hard-hitting matches that earned her widespread acclaim. After becoming NXT Women's Champion and briefly winning the Raw Women's Championship, Ripley's stock soared, culminating in her ascension to the Women's World Championship after her monumental victory over Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania 39. Fans were drawn to Ripley's no-nonsense attitude, and her character began to evolve in ways that set her apart from her peers. Aligning herself with the Judgment Day faction, a dark, rebellious group, alongside Dominic Mysterio, Finn Balor, and Damian Priest, Ripley thrived as a villainous yet captivating figure. Her leadership of the Judgment Day gave her an aura of dominance, both as a faction leader and as the top woman in WWE. However, despite her many accolades and moments of brilliance, WWE has begun to mishandle Ripley's potential in ways that are troubling for both her character and the overall women's division. One of the biggest issues facing Rhea Ripley is the lack of consistent, credible challengers to her championship reign. As Women's World Champion, Ripley should be facing top-tier opponents regularly, but her matches and rivalries have lacked depth and substance. WWE's inability to establish compelling storylines around her reign has led to a creative vacuum, where Ripley's matches feel like afterthoughts rather than must-see moments. For months, Ripley has primarily been engaged in side plots involving the Judgment Day, often focused on her role as Dominic Mysterio's protector and partner. While the dynamic between Ripley and Dominic has been entertaining, it has overshadowed her role as Women's World Champion. Instead of headlining major pay-per-views or being involved in heated rivalries, Ripley is stuck in a supporting role, often appearing as a secondary character in storylines revolving around Dominic's feuds. This not only dilutes Ripley's character, but also weakens the prestige of the women's title she holds. Another critical issue is that the women's division as a whole lacks credible, long-term challengers for Ripley. WWE has a wealth of talent, but the booking of female competitors has been inconsistent, leaving few believable threats to Ripley's dominance. When Ripley does defend her title, the matches are often built up hastily, with little backstory or emotional investment. Ripley is capable of delivering incredible matches, but without a worthy opponent or a compelling story, these bouts lack the significance they deserve. Rhea Ripley has all the tools to be one of WWE's biggest stars, male or female. Her character is magnetic, her in-ring ability is top-notch, and her presence commands attention. Yet, WWE has consistently underutilized her in ways that prevent her from reaching her full potential. Part of this issue stems from the booking decisions surrounding Ripley, which have reduced her from a world-beating champion to a sideshow figure in the Judgment Day's internal drama. Ripley's potential as a megastar extends beyond her role in the Judgment Day. WWE has missed opportunities to position her as a true main event talent, especially when considering how she could transcend the women's division and face male competitors. Fans have been clamoring for Ripley to step into more intergender matchups, given her physicality and how often she gets involved in the Judgment Day's male-centric feuds. Yet, WWE has been hesitant to pull the trigger, limiting her interactions with men to non-competitive spots rather than full-fledged matches. This reluctance to push Ripley beyond traditional women's wrestling confines has stunted her growth as a top-tier star. Triple H and the creative team should recognize that Ripley has the ability to dominate not just the women's division, but WWE as a whole, much like China did during the Attitude Era. WWE is in dire need of fresh faces at the top of the card, and Ripley is one of the few wrestlers who could step into that role convincingly. If Triple H wants to fix WWE's Rhea Ripley problem, the solution starts with booking her as the main event talent she truly is. Ripley should not be relegated to Dominic Mysterio's sidekick or stuck in unimportant, low-stakes storylines. Instead, she should be leading the women's division in high-profile feuds that showcase her dominance and talent. First and foremost, WWE needs to find credible, long-term rivals for Ripley. Superstars like Becky Lynch, Bianca Belair, Charlotte Flair, and Asuka are all capable of delivering compelling matches and rivalries, but they need to be booked in ways that make them believable threats to Ripley's title reign. Rather than throwing together random title matches with little buildup, WWE should focus on creating multi-month feuds that allow Ripley and her challengers to tell engaging stories in and out of the ring. Another way to elevate Ripley is by integrating her more deeply into the men's division. Fans have already responded positively to Ripley's involvement in male-driven storylines, and allowing her to compete in intergender matches would add a new layer to her character. WWE has been careful with intergender matches in recent years, but Ripley is the perfect candidate to break that barrier. Having Ripley face off against male competitors, whether in singles matches or as part of mixed-gender tag teams, could elevate her status and give her fresh, exciting opponents. Additionally, Ripley's leadership of the Judgment Day should be solidified. As one of the group's most compelling members, she should be portrayed as a leader on par with Finn Balor and Damian Priest, rather than simply a supporting figure for Dominic Mysterio. Ripley's character thrives when she's seen as the alpha, confident, commanding, and unafraid to take charge. WWE should lean into this aspect of her personality, allowing her to dictate the Judgment Day's direction and stand out as a true leader.